Welcome back to my channel, all about science. After a very long time, I'm over here with you guys with a very interesting research regarding to science that is very recent research. Well, guys, that is on the screen you would be seeing something like organic tomatoes, and they're having stamp of organic in GMO. Well, the product of genetic engineering is known as genetically modified organism. That's why it's short form as GMO. Well, today in this video we are gonna be having the knowledge regarding to the genetic engineering. What is actually genetic engineering, pros and cons of genetic engineering, and some of the facts regarding to that. So let's get started. First of all, guys, what is genetic engineering? Well, genetic engineering has been defined as the artificial manipulation, modification, and recombination of DNA or other nucleic acid or molecules in order to modify an organism or population of organisms. Well, in easy words, we can say that genetic engineering is a based process which is used for incorporating means which is used for putting one thing to like injecting one thing into another, for incorporating one gene of an organism to another organism to gain desirable traits. Just take an example of an orange. Like, we want a desirable trait in which a desirable trait of ourselves in which the orange we want would be like sweet as well as big, but we are not having such kind of things like that. So we'll take the gene of one orange which is of small shape, small size, and one orange which is sweet in taste, and then we'll incorporate the genes, and then the reaction will happen, or the process that is called genetic engineering and genetic modification. Then the desirable trait which we want we will gain them. Okay, so I hope you people would be now like you would have got the concept of genetic engineering. It is also known as genetic modification. Okay, well, we've got that. Let's move on to it. Like, every single thing in the whole world is having its benefits and as well as its side effects or its disadvantages. Well, here we are saying it, that means as pros and cons. Well, it is having many benefits and as well as effects on human or any living organism. Well, benefits of genetic engineering is more, we will get more nutritious food, less use of pesticides will be there for the agricultural things, and the faster growing of plants will be there. We'll get more and more agriculture crops which we want. And in the old days, people, what they do, they just harvest in the farms, and they just grow the plants, and they took a lot time, and their work do not, and they're like, they become poor. So the main concept for genetic engineering to is the main concept of genetic engineering is we can say very good, as we can get more nutritious food, less use of pesticides with the faster growing of plants. Well, but if we are seeing the benefits of this kind of thing, then we also have to see the side effects of this kind of thing, and those that are potential harm to health very much. Okay, new allergens in the food supply, and harms the animals also. And there was also a research, an experiment which was done by the scientists, and they made a dolly sheep by their desirable trait, and they made that creature by themselves, and they have disturbed the creation, the system of Allah Ta'ala. And this is the very, very saddest thing, because the technology, when it is getting upgraded and going up and up and up, so it is just our people are just getting closer and closer to the day of judgment. And this is very, very, very terrifying thing that the peoples are doing. We can take the example of coronavirus. How is it made? Because of the genetic engineering, they have just incorporate the genes of one bacteria and one virus and just incorporated them and just made another dangerous virus and just spread it throughout the world. And by this, many lives are gone. All the people died by suffering such kind of disease, and this is very, very terrific. So, well, let's come to our topic, which is genetic engineering, pros and cons. Well, if we are using the modified GMO product, we are thinking that it is good. We are getting a bigger one with a very much sweet in taste thing. But when you take it regularly on regular basis, and you're just thinking that, yeah, this is a good, very, very, very good thing, good, very much, and you are allowing that. But at that, after very, very, very much time, after several months, or like after a time, you'll see the side effect of GMO products in yourself. It can also cause cancer, diabetes, and many other kind of very harmful diseases, which are very, very, very harmful to ourselves, obviously. Well, let's talk about some of its facts also. Well, in 1972, scientists made a desired trait by taking monkey virus and lambda virus for making of a new organism. For making of a new virus. As I have given you the example of coronavirus, that the scientists who have done such kind of thing of making coronavirus, and this thing happened in 1972 also. And well, let's come to the fact number 2. The first genetically modified animal was created in 1973. Well, even can you imagine that it is a very, very, very old period, but still then the scientists were on that job. They just kept on researching on organisms, and they just did the genetically modified things, and they just created a modified animal. Well, let's come to fact number 3. Some of the most common genetic engineering test subjects are mice and zebrafish. Well, let's look into the pie chart, which is in front of my screen. Global area of genetically modified crops. As you can see in the screen, we are having China, Paraguay, South Africa, Pakistan, and Uruguay, and others. As you can see that genetically modified crops overall in the whole world are in this pie chart. USA, and you can see that USA is having the most genetically modified crops, and they are 73.1%, and that's a lot. Brazil after that, Argentina 24.3, India 11.6, Canada and India are having same genetically modified crops. China also, Paraguay, South Africa, and Pakistan. Everyone is having 15.0 genetically modified crops, and others, like the other countries throughout the world, are having 3.7%. Well, guys, you can see that it is a very terrific thing that the scientists are just disturbing the system of Allah. Seriously, this is the truth, that if they are just disturbing the system of Allah Ta'ala, then they are just calling the day of judgment actually. Well, but the science is going very, very, very far apart, has gone very far apart, and it is very hard to for we people to just imagine this kind of thing. And you know what? Genetic modification or genetic engineering is called cloning process because many identical copies can be made of the original DNA fragments. In 1970s, the scientists were able to alter the DNA of organisms, and in 1978, the first genetically engineered drug, penicillin, was produced by bacteria. Another example of genetic engineering, a stretch of DNA. Often, an entire gene may be isolated and its nucleotide sequence determined, or its nucleotide sequence may be altered by in vitro mutagenic methods. Well, vitro mutagenic methods are the research work which is done at the laboratory level. Well, the related activities in genetic engineering have two basic objectives. Number one, to learn more about the ways nature works, and number two, to make use of this knowledge for practical purposes. And you guys know what? A useful genetic improve approach to increase the efficiency of production. The fermentation was then shown to be useful in its production. And now, genetic engineering promises to make the fermentation process economically competitive. There are several ways that DNA can be cut, sliced, or otherwise altered, but engineered DNA by itself is a static molecule. In 19 and there is another research of in 1990 the Human Genome Project was launched to map all the genes of the human cell. The complete draft of the human genome sequence was published in 2002 with the following objectives. Number one, determining the human DNA sequence. Number two, understanding the function of human genetic code. Number three, identifying all of the genes. Number four, determining their functions. Number five, understanding how and when genes are turned on and off throughout the lifetime and of an individual. Well, this was a little bit about genetic engineering, GMO, and all those. And you know what? Whenever you people see small fruits as well as big fruits, like on in shops, you people see oranges as well as small oranges and big oranges. Well, you know what? The small oranges are the organic oranges, and the bigger one, which are larger in size, which we think that these are good for our health, no, they are absolutely not, because they are GMO products, they are genetically modified products. so they are not good for our health if we are taking it regular basis. Like fruits contain vitamin C and many other kind of vitamins, but genetic engineering has improved a lot, and science is going further ahead, and just getting the scientists are getting out of the nerve, seriously. Well, guys, I hope you would have enjoyed my video.